Lilith has been oozing mystery even all the way back in Hazbin Hotel's pilot. Her future role in the show will undoubtedly be one of the most impactful we've seen, as her past actions are a core reason Charlie started the Hazbin Hotel business in the first place, uniting sinners together under one umbrella, as opposed to how they're constantly at each other's throats again in petty turf wars after her disappearance almost 8 years ago now. Where the last we saw her, she's been intentionally avoiding contact from both Charlie and her estranged husband Lucifer, while sipping margaritas on heaven's beaches. So I wanted to take this video to discuss all the facts we know about humanity's first sinner, sorry, wrong picture, the possibilities on why she chose to stay in heaven for so many years, and how her inevitable return will be a major turning point for Charlie's character, and maybe for better or worse depending on how messy things are between them. Lilith has been the big enigma in Hazbin Hotel, with the only other named character with a similar amount of mystery is Rosie, I think, due to the amount of power she has at her disposal to kickstart the rise of Alistair, yet doesn't really do anything with these powers for herself. Granted, this revelation about Rosie has started to spark theories about how she and Lilith are connected, or Rosie could be Eve using a new name, but I don't really want to focus on that too much here. Cartoon Universe recently dropped a theory video on that topic if you wanted to hear someone go more in depth with that. We don't know why she suddenly disappeared or how her songs were good enough to inspire what sounds like the majority of Pentagram City's sinner population. And I get, in a show like Hazbin Hotel that's Broadway musical inspired, certain conflicts will be resolved through songs, but we've also seen, especially throughout season 2, songs can also make matters worse. A case in point, Charlie and Nifty on the news.
And that's why the hotel is good, right? Yay!
Her status as the first sinner is irrelevant too, because Charlie, being the Princess of Hell, hasn't done anything to improve the hotel's business. Lilith's messages through her songs were just that good. Is she a better singer than Freddie Mercury though? That's all that really matters at the end of the day. Hell has garnered such a terrible reputation since its creation, mostly because of its sinners. While Lucifer is the king in name, he's quite harmless as a demon, or I guess demon angel, only going demon time when those he loves are in danger, much like Charlie on the rare occasions she's transformed. The same can be applied to Hell of a Boss's majority Hellboard cast. A lot of these guys have issues, but it doesn't make them completely deplorable beings. The same can be applied to the sinners as well. Pentious is proof that some sinners get sent to hell for sins they technically had no direct ties to. But the truly bad sinners, like the V's and, Alistair, tend to outweigh the good. Which feels like a human nature thing, to be honest, as even in real life, humans tend to dwell more on the small bits of negativity coming their way, even if the quantity of positivity is higher. My point is, sinners being the only ties to humanity in hell gives their actions more weight in how the rest of humanity in heaven views them, with Lilith being the only one in the past close enough to get this group of people to unite. It's understandable why heaven's forces would feel so threatened, even if there was no threat of an actual war. Which I don't think there was war intent, on Lilith's part at least. With Charlie being the pacifist, power of friendship merchant she is, I can't imagine she'd still look up to her mother in the way she does if Lilith's intentions were to go to war with heaven through her musical protests. Someone with Lilith's life and afterlife experiences should be self-aware enough to know the differences between the good and bad of living creatures. She had left Adam pretty early on into their mortal relationship because of how toxic he was, eventually getting together with Lucifer, only to be scorned to hell because of her involvement of persuading Eve to eat the apple from the tree of knowledge. So it's extremely puzzling when it was revealed Lilith had some kind of deal with Adam that gave her a free ticket to heaven, while continuing to ignore her daughter and husband even after Adam's death. For a while, I was under the assumption the extermination days had been taking place for at least multiple centuries or so, not only with how Charlie's opening story in season 1's premiere was worded, but Lucifer's words in season 1's finale about how Charlie was the first one to change the Pentagram City in the last 10,000 years.
In the last 10,000 years.
However, in season 2's 4th episode, it's stated by Katie Killjoy the exterminations have only been going on for 7 years.
The same angels that made it their whole thing for 7 years to kill as many of us as possible.
Which would coincide with Lilith's disappearance. I always figured Lilith knew about how bad the extermination days could get, but this revelation heavily implies she was just as big of a part of how they began as Adam and Sarah were. The safest theory I've seen going around about why Lilith would agree to something so horrible at the cost of her own people is her own selfish desires. Lilith is someone who, even if her intentions were peaceful, still wanted hell to stand on closer footing as heaven at the end of the day, feeling like she, her family, and the rest of the people deserved to live at the very least better lives than the ones they were currently living. So 7 years ago, heaven's fear of hell growing too powerful reached its breaking point, so Sarah and Adam would contact Lilith, hoping to strike some kind of bargain with her, which, if we're going with the more simple route, would be she is completely pardoned of all her crimes of protest in hell, abandoning Adam as humans, and persuading Eve's actions as a human, allowing her to live out her days in heaven with the condition that Adam, Lut, and an exorcist army would be allowed to exterminate sinners at random on a yearly basis. This would make it to where Lilith is the more antagonistic parent of Charlie, and would line up with Hazbin Hotel's story intentions. As Viv has officially stated, Hazbin Hotel's overall story is meant to be, focused more on the female cast of characters, while Hell of a Boss is more male-focused. We've already seen how much Hell of a Boss has delved into the daddy issues storylines with characters like Moxie, Stolas, and even Blitz to a lesser extent so far. Sure, Charlie had some issues with Lucifer they needed to work out last season, but I don't believe their relationship was ever meant to be a greater focus than with the parent that literally inspired her to start the hotel business. I'm personally in the camp of Lilith's intentions behind taking that deal not being the greatest so far, because I have seen some, not a lot, but some folks saying maybe she took the deal with the conditions Adam's gang wouldn't be allowed to harm Charlie or Lucifer, but the entire 26 minutes of season 1's finale is proof that's impossible, because Adam was actively trying to kill Charlie and would have succeeded if Daddy Lou didn't pull up. This topic of conversation will inevitably get brought up, and maybe the biggest punch to Charlie's soul she's ever had, and she'll have to somehow come to terms with the idea that her mother basically left her for dead more than once. Granted, with how Lilith was acting in the Storyteller episode, her expression looked like a kind of sigh of relief when Luke told her she was off the hook for going down to the hotel to destroy Charlie's dreams. Which makes me think she's relieved she doesn't have to, see Charlie for the first time in 7 years, only for it to be as horrible of a reunion as possible. Lilith likely regrets the deal she made to a degree and is only ignoring her family because she doesn't have the stomach to face them again after bailing like that. Not even willing to listen to the voicemails they've left her. At least that's my take. Charlie's going through it for sure, but Lucifer's missing her even more. Over 600 missed calls, dude? Oof. If she truly wanted them out of their lives, couldn't she just block their numbers? With the entire first half of the season already out, I can't see a reality where Lilith will make any other major appearances until season 3. Since trailer footage of season 2 started dropping, I've been in the camp that this season will end on another Lilith-related cliffhanger like the last one, whether it be Lilith showing up at the hotel knocking on the door, or finally returning one of Charlie's calls. One or the other, I'm dying on that hill. It's happening. But even then, we have to consider what is suddenly going to change Lilith's mind about contacting her family again after completely ignoring them for 7 years. As for initial reasonings, I could easily see her, lying to Charlie about her whereabouts and why she was gone upon their first reunion/conversation, with her true intentions of returning either being the guilt finally catching up to her, or Charlie accomplishing something Lilith found exceptional enough to actually give Charlie the time of day. Maybe I'm being too charitable though, because it could end up boiling down to the plot demands her presence with where the story is at. Adam is already dead, Lut's been weirdly MIA, which is a bit concerning for many reasons, and if Vox doesn't straight up die at the end of season 2, then his defeat will be bad enough to where his role in future seasons will either be non-existent or extremely minimal. At that point, Lilith has to take center stage so her past actions coming to light can serve a purpose for not only Charlie's character, but her own as well. I don't believe Lilith and Charlie will be at odds with each other forever. Charlie's all about forgiveness and redemption. Even though what her mom has done is extremely fucked, the two of them will inevitably work it out. It's just probably going to take a lot longer to resolve than any of her previous relationship-focused issues. My bet is the entire, or at least the majority of season 3. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen with Lilith next season, especially if you have any different takes from the ones I presented in this video. I'd love to know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you enjoyed the video. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.